purpose of today is for you to learn more about the opportunities through the Howard Bayer program. You'll hear about two positions and you hear some details, and would love you to keep an open mind and understand what both positions have to offer. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Edward Hahn to go through the agenda for today. Next slide, please, Kafi.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. As Dr. Olajide mentioned, my name is Edward Hahn. I am one of the program directors here with the Bayer Howard University PharmD Fellowship Program. Before I go into the introductions of the agenda here, I'd like to introduce somebody else here who has been integral to the creation of the fellowship program. Dr. Larry McCollum, if you don't mind just coming off and just introducing yourself.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Larry McCollum. I'm a director of medical communications and oncology here at Bayer. I'm also, I serve as the fellowship program director for the medical communications group. In my role as the program director, I work closely with our team lead, who you will meet shortly, Dr. Bindi Patel. I also work closely with our medical executive sponsor, Dr. Mark Mehta, who you will meet shortly. And I work alongside assigned preceptors to actually develop and mentor our fellows to become future leaders in the pharmaceutical industry. And my passion really is science and people development. And I really enjoy seeing individuals grow and develop in a way that brings joy to them and their families, but also in a way that adds value to our customers and to the business. I have to say I'm also a PharmD by training and a proud graduate of the Howard University College of Pharmacy. Kick it back over to you.
Thank you, Dr. McCollum. So appreciate the introduction there. So I will very quickly go through the agenda here so that we can allow for a majority of the time for you all to introduce yourselves and ask us questions, any burning questions that you guys may have of the fellowship program and the individuals that have been tirelessly working to help put this together. So quickly, after I introduce the agenda, I'll hand it back over to Dr. Olajide to share with us the Howard introductions before going into the Bayer introductions, quickly followed by an overview of Bayer as an organization and an overview of Howard, and then go very just concisely into the program descriptions for the respective programs that we have to offer for you here this recruitment cycle, and then allow for the remainder of the time for you all to ask us questions. So with that, I'd like to maybe hand it back over to Dr. Olajide.
Thank you for that, Edward. And, you know, I mentioned that I'm the project coordinator for this program. Similar to Dr. McCollum, I am a pharmacist by training, and I did graduate from Howard. And, you know, we usually say HU, to get people excited. And I am, supported on this fellowship program by many fellows. And I was previously a resident, so I was previously in your shoes, so I understand how this process goes. However, I'd be remiss if I didn't go through the slide and share with you our team, starting with Dr. Earl Etienne, who is our leader. He's the fellowship director. Dr. Etienne is very passionate about this program. He envisioned this premier program back in, I would say, 2010, and it kicked off in 2012. So he has worked tirelessly to ensure that we have a program that develops leaders, that develops change makers, and that develops people that are looking to support their communities, both locally and globally. And on the right side of the slide is Mrs. Christina Flood. She works tirelessly also in the back end to support every financial any travel and any reimbursement issues that we have for our fellows and with our partners. So both of them send their regards. And I just wanted to take the time to introduce our team. Next slide. And without the fellows, we wouldn't get the insight that's needed to ensure that this program is meeting the needs of everyone that's involved. I will go through the partners in a little bit, but I wanted to share who our lead fellows are. We have 4 lead fellows. First, Patrick Futsu, and Patrick is on the line today. I'd like him to introduce himself and also share a little bit about why he chose this program. Patrick, can I call on you to do that?
Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Olajide. Welcome everyone, and welcome to this great sponsor, Bayer. So we are grateful to have you here today to provide these very important opportunities to the future fellows. So my name is Patrick Futsu. I am a PharmD by training. I went to Howard University College of Pharmacy as well. And so I chose to continue my pharmaceutical industry journey with Howard just based on familiarity and also based on all the mentorship that has been provided to me since I was a student. So it's a pleasure of mine to really contribute to the elevation of the Howard brand. And part of doing that is the reason why I'm a Howard University College of Pharmacy, Pharmaceutical Industry lead fellow. I will go ahead and introduce the next co-fellow. She couldn't make to this meeting today, but she's also a Howard alum. Her name is Musdalifa Mohammed. She a second-year fellow with Pfizer, working in the global label management / medical information branch. She's also very passionate about Howard and also the opportunities that Howard provide as far as the support system that he does provide. So I'll go ahead and pass it to Kathy so she introduce herself to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry my camera isn't working as well today, but just to introduce myself a little, my name is Kathy Friday. I am one of the first-year fellows. I graduated from Campbell University in North Carolina in 2023 with my PharmD, and I chose Howard University Fellowship because of all the possibilities, all the opportunities that I've had. I would say that I've had some amazing opportunities being a first-year fellow right now. I've only been 3 months in, and it has been an amazing experience. Also, I really truly feel valued at this fellowship. I get to take on projects that really interest me. And, I know that if you guys choose this fellowship to apply, you will have a great time here as well. And at this time, I will pass it on to my other co-fellow, Diamond Scott.
Hello, everyone. I'm Diamond. I am unable to be on my camera, which I hate, but for now, I am a first-year fellow from Xavier University College of Pharmacy in Louisiana. I chose to apply to Howard for one reason only, and that is professional growth. If you can think it, they'll make it happen. And I came in with my own thought that I have to be running in excellence. No, here they teach you how to be excellent. And so that stuck out to me the most, and they have not let me down yet. I enjoy being a lead fellow, both where I could be super creative and also in a space that's super friendly to my personal and professional growth. So thank you all for coming, and thanks to the other panelists for having me.
Thank you so much, Diamond, Kathy, Patrick. We're going to move next to our Bayer U.S. Regulatory Affairs colleagues, and I'll pass it over to Ed to lead this conversation.
Thank you, Dr. Olajide. So I'll start off the introductions here and pass it on so that you meet all of the other individuals here. As we mentioned earlier in the call, this is our inaugural Bayer Howard Fellowship. We do have some wonderful guests here. We have several Bayer current fellows that have either are in regulatory affairs or in medical communications to also share their experiences thus far, as well as some graduates, so that you can ask them questions as well too, based on what their current experiences are and have been with the Bayer Fellowship programs. So before I pass it on, I'll quickly introduce myself again. Again, my name is Edward Hein. I am also a PharmD by training. I am currently the Director of Advertising and Promotions in the US here, and that is my day job. But on the side, of course, a passion project of mine is also being the Program Director for Regulatory Affairs here at Bayer. And so with that, I'd love to introduce our executive sponsor, Allison Maloney.
Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone. So my name, as Eddie says, is Allison Maloney. I'm really pleased that we're having this meeting because this was a concept of ours at Bayer about a year ago. And I'm really happy that we've made it happen with Howard. So that's the first thing I want to say. My role is the head of regulatory affairs for the Americas, so Canada, US, and Latin America. And I am an executive sponsor of a very large fellowship program we already have. And we're rolling Howard into our purview of executive sponsors as well. So again, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. I've been at Bayer for about 12 years now, but been in industry for over 25. So I've also worked at Merck and AstraZeneca for many years. So also please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. And Eddie, I'll hand it back to you, I guess.
Thank you, Allison. With that, I'll turn it over to Khushbu. Khushbu, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. It's really lovely to meet you all. I'm looking forward to getting to know you all better through this process. But like Eddie said, my name is Khushbu Doshi. I'm a first-year Regulatory Affairs Fellow here at Bayer, and I support our pulmonology and critical care, as well as our cell and gene therapy programs here at Bayer. So looking forward to meeting you all. And Eddie, I'll pass it back over to you.
Thank you, Khushbu. We'll move over to Namosha.
Thanks, Eddie. Hi, everyone. I'm Namosha. I am also a pharmacist by training. I graduated from St. John's University. I currently work as a regulatory strategist in the Global Regulatory Affairs team here at Bayer. I started my full-time role only in June of this year. Before that, I completed a 2-year fellowship in regulatory strategy here at Bayer as well. And actually the same team that I currently work in as a strategist. But I'm very excited to speak to you all today.
Thank you, Namosha. And last but not least, of course, we have Matthew.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm the current second-year fellow in regulatory strategy, and I'm in the oncology therapeutic area. And I'll pass it back to Eddie.
Thanks so much. So with that, I'd like to pass this back over to Dr. McCollum and have him go through the medical affairs group.
Thank you, Eddie. Again, I'm Larry McCollum, Program Director for the Medical Affairs Communication here at Bayer. I'd like to introduce you to our team. I'd first like to give kudos as well to Eddie. We've been working on this partnership with Howard University for probably 8 months or so. And, we put a lot of work in it, and I'm really happy that it's actually come to pass. And we couldn't do this without our leaders in terms of our executive sponsors and our team leads. And so I want to say thank you to everyone that was involved in making this happen. With that said, I introduce to you our executive sponsor, Dr. Mark Remetta.
Hi, and welcome everybody. My name is Mark Remetta. I'm a senior medical director at Bayer. I've been with the company many years, since 2007. And it's interesting, one of the main reasons I joined the company back in 2007, I had an interest in multiple sclerosis, but they were also looking for a new program director for the PharmD fellowship program. So I've been involved in all the academic programs we sponsor at Bayer for many years, and I am the medical executive sponsor of the PharmD program at Bayer. I'm also the director of the Physician Fellowship Program that's sponsored by Rutgers. So really excited to chat with you all today. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask questions during the Q&A session. So welcome, and look forward to chatting with you all.
Thank you,
I'll
Dr.
turn it over
Rometa.
to Bindi.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I'm really excited to be here to welcome you all to the open house for Bayer Harvard Fellowship. My name is Bindi Patel, and I'm also PharmD by background. I am Senior Director leading the Medical Communications and Publication team in the United States. And I've been at Bayer for more than 8 years now, and I've been in pharmaceutical industry career for 13 years now. And really excited for this and looking forward to the rest of the discussion. And please ask any questions you may have about Medical Communications Fellowship. Thank you. I'll hand it over to Valentina.
Thanks, Bindi. So hi, everyone. My name is Valentina Pampalevsky, and I'm a Director of Digital Strategy for U.S. Medical Affairs Organization within Bayer. I've been with the company for about 7 years and actually started my career as a Bayer Fellow. I also held some leadership roles within my fellowship program as a Chief Fellow within the Bayer program, and I currently work and have precepted current fellows and work with them closely on some key projects within our groups. So I'm very happy to be here today and looking forward to answering any questions you might have. Thank you. And then I'll pass it over to Christine.
Thank you, Valentina. Hi, everyone. My name is Christine Van, and I am one of the first-year Medical Affairs Communications Fellow. I currently support the cardiorenal team, and I am super excited to be working or learning about everyone and meeting you all. I'll pass it on to Lauren.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. My name is Lauren Mead. I'm also first-year fellow in Medical Affairs Communications. I'm currently rotating in the oncology therapeutic area, specifically the prostate cancer franchise, and I'm super excited to meet everyone and answer all your questions. Ready to move on to the next slide.
Dr. Alajiri.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the introductions. I'm going to take a little bit of time to tell you about the values of College of Pharmacy as well as the fellowship program. The Howard University College of Pharmacy, if you didn't know, has a legacy that dates back to 1868. And the university has a tremendous amount of focus on leadership and service. So the College of Pharmacy itself is a premier university addition that focuses on research, teaching, leadership, and service for its community. So you can imagine that the fellowship program follows the same values. And our purpose is truly to serve the postdoctoral fellows to make sure that we are preparing them to be C-suite leaders. So we hope to develop fellows with competency and skill set necessary to serve as leaders, not only in academia, but also biopharmaceuticals, policy, research, and the FDA. And we provide specialized and customized training where fellows work side by side with industry leaders, and we thereby nurture solid groundwork for them to have prosperous C-suite positions within the biopharmaceutical industry. Next slide. And the College of Pharmacy Fellowship Program is very thankful because we have over 13 pharmaceutical partners, hospitals, and institutions across the nations. You can see some of them on this slide, and Bayer is right at the center, one of our new partnerships. So we're very grateful to the dedication that we've seen so far with our Bayer partners. And I'll say that we've really enjoyed a lot of commitment from preceptors and staff members that work on the back end to support this program. Next slide. I would be remiss if I didn't say that we had other partners across the industries. So partners including the FDA, as I mentioned previously, Children's National Hospital, Georgetown Hospital, Howard University Hospital, the Howard School of Law, as well as Uptown Research Institutes. So fellows, depending on the program that they are completing, they'll get professional training at Howard, and they'll also get specialized training at their partner company site, as well as one of these other partners. So depending on the track that they take, they can customize their fellowship experience. Next slide. And with that, I'll pass it over to Edward to tell us a little bit about Bayer.
Thank you, Dr. Olajide. So for this portion, we'll play you a very short clip that summarizes some of the aspects of Bayer as an organization. So, Kef, if you don't mind just playing the clip. And with that, I'd like to turn over to Dr. Rometa to speak about a little bit more about Bayer.
Sure. So one of the things we really hold dear to our heart is our culture at Bayer. And one of the things that you'll notice if you go on our website is something called the Life Principles. And this actually comes up during the interview process. We'll ask you about the life principles. So I definitely encourage you to embrace them and know the life principles at Bayer. And what we try to do is when we evaluate candidates for the fellowship program, we actually look at your CV to see if you have evidence of or demonstrate these life principles. And for me, one of the most important aspects of our culture is leadership. So we really let our fellows lead our multiple activities and projects. You won't be there shadowing, you will be leading. So L for me is very, very big. We look at your CV and we look for areas that you demonstrate leadership. So that stands for L. Integrity is what we need to do day in and day out. We are very much guided by our rules and principles that we have to follow. We're very regulatory type of industry, so it's very, very important that we maintain our integrity. However, you also need to be very flexible in your daily routine. And one of the things that we try to embrace and teach our fellows is be flexible in your work ethic and your work schedule, because it'll be very, very intense and you need to move from project to project very, very quickly sometimes. And lastly, we really spend a lot of time with our fellows trying to train you to become more efficient. And this really has a lot to do with your time management skills. So this is one of the cultural aspects of Bayer that we're very proud of. We really have embraced the life principles for many, many years. You'll see it on our website, and you'll see it'll probably come up during the interview process. So that's life.
Thank you, Mark, so much for sharing a little bit more about Bayer as an organization. I'll lead you all now very quickly into the program description for the Regulatory Affairs Fellowship Program here at Bayer. This information on this slide you will find on our flyer, as well as the Howard University Fellowship website as well. So I don't want to read all of this to you, but this really exposes a little bit more about the potential opportunities that we endeavor to have our fellows experience while they are a part of a Bayer Fellowship within regulatory affairs. So things such as leading and supporting interactions with the FDA through numerous different applications, working with global regulatory teams to develop different strategies and working with the global project teams, coordinating team activities, and working through health authority feedback or different drug development processes. So, and as well as, compliance, working through the compliance of the company through the FDA regulations and guidances, and developing internal trainings and so on and so forth. Also having the opportunity to potentially support the U.S. advertising promotions activities, such as promotional review and FDA submissions. Also working with the U.S. CMC team to develop different strategies and submissions or FDA interactions. They may also gain exposure to the regulatory intelligence and analytics team as well. And potentially in the last 6 months of the fellowship, working with the FDA and in securing a rotation there for the last 6 months. So with that, I'll turn it over to Larry. Oh, excuse me.
Thank you.
Yeah. Apologies. Yeah. It's to Matthew. Apologies.
Yeah. Thank you, Eddie. And I'm just going to expand a little bit more about some of the opportunities I've actually had available to me. As you can see there, we have our 4 buckets with the regulatory strategy and labeling, U.S. ad promo, business management, CMC, and then FDA business excellence. And as a second year, I've been with Bayer for about 16 months now. And in that short time, I've been able to be involved and lead IND submissions, health authority meetings, have input on global development plans and the regulatory strategy and plans for compounds. I've been able to be involved in internal discussion forums and educational forums, also to perform some external analysis for our regulatory science and innovation group that we have in oncology. And then along with that, perform some internal analysis as well. And then also among that, I've been exposed to lots of different networking opportunities that we do throughout regulatory with different luncheons and potlucks and things like that, which has been great as well. And then let me pass it off over to Kushba, and she's going to expand a little bit more about the therapeutic area opportunities she's had in her short time.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, so at Bayer, and specifically for regulatory affairs, there's a lot of different therapeutic areas that the potential fellow will be able to work in. As someone who's a first-year fellow, just joined in July, I've really only been here for about 4 months, but I've already had the opportunity to work in medical devices, cell and gene therapy, women's healthcare, and pulmonology and anti-infectives. So I think that kind of the world is your oyster, and the leadership team really puts an effort to make sure that you get a very well-rounded experience. So yeah, with that, I'll pass it over to Bindi for the next slide.
Hi all. So I'm very excited to give you an overview for Medical Affairs Communication Fellowships. So just like Ed said, you are going to have this information later in the brochure, but I'm just going to go over the key components of that. And to re-emphasize, it's a 2-year fellowship. We're going to be recruiting 1 fellow. And we have a really exciting, robust medical affairs communication program here. We've been doing it for years. And under Larry's leadership, you're going to get experience in multiple therapeutic areas, primarily key therapeutic areas like oncology, cardiorenal, women's health, including any product launches. So you'll definitely get to experience product launches while you are here. We have many launches coming up within the next few years. You also get to work on a core capabilities, which are reviewing the promotional material for medical accuracy as well as non-promotional material, building content, which is going to be standard medical response documents, which are used to respond to the physician's inquiries to help them make decisions for their patients, and working with different medical directors as well as preceptors and publications team, digital team, and working on various projects. And like Mark said, all of your life values are going to come in handy. You're going to be working on multiple projects and going to be expected to have leadership qualities while working on different aspects of this. Along with that, you will be given an opportunity to attend congresses where you get to engage with the key opinion leaders as well as other HCPs. They're attending congresses where you will be staffing the booth and answering all the inquiries over there. So again, this is a very well-rounded program where you would be exposed to many different opportunities. You will be given the opportunity to work on certificate for publication as well, and work on various projects. But with that, I'll hand it to Dr. Larry to go in more details.
Yes, actually, I'm going to turn it over to our first year fellows to go over the program structure.
Yes, so this slide just highlights and outlines our program structure. So like Bindi said, it's a 2-year program. Year 1 is really designed to lock down those core medical affairs communications responsibilities. So now I've been at Bayer for only a couple of months, but I've already been integrated into the promotional review team as a medical reviewer. So I'm working alongside legal, regulatory, and commercial to review these promotional and non-promotional pieces. Also, like Bindi had mentioned, I develop content for the standard response documents. That is really crucial to help the HCPs effectively use our products that is safe and effective for patients. And then also, based on your interest and based on the business need, we're able to pick up additional projects that really help our visibility within the company and are really tailored to our interest. And that's one of the big reasons why I chose Bayer. And I will pass it to Christine to go through the second year.
Thanks, Lauren. So as you head into the second year of the fellowship program, you are given the opportunity to expand your experience through various rotations, some of which are listed here. For example, publications, digital content development, medical science liaison, medical information operation, and strategy and portfolio management. And it's not just limited to these. If you do have interests in other areas and have made pertinent connections with others within the company, there's also opportunities to pioneer new rotations catered to your career goals. For example, of these rotations, I might be interested in the MSL or digital content development rotations and potentially something outside of medical just to get a sense of how other functional areas work. And this is all designed to enhance job placement post-fellowship as well as to identify and retain talent. And so that's the overall program structure for the Medical Affairs Communications Fellowship. I will now pass it back to Dr. Olajide to go over the fellowship application requirements.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for that. Thank you, Lauren. I really am impressed by these two positions, and I cannot wait to see all the prospective candidates. So we wanted to take a moment to go over application requirements with everyone to make sure that you all are aware that, one, we're looking for PharmDs or expected PharmD candidates who will be graduated by July of next year. The application requirements include your CV, your letter of intent, 3 letters of recommendation, and your transcript. And if you have your phone handy, you can go ahead and scan the QR code on the right-hand side. I know that we've already received several applications. I will note that if you have your application documents ready, you can also email them to pharmacy.fellowship@howard.edu, as well as you can go to the link here, pharmacy.howard.edu/fellowship/programs, to get more information about what we've discussed today. Now is, I think, the perfect time for our prospective candidates to get their questions answered. I know that we have a number. I think we'll have probably close to 20 candidates. If we go to the next slide, we wanted to take an opportunity to have you all introduce yourself, mention your name and your school. And if you have any questions, I think we can go ahead and get those now. What do you all think, Ed and Larry? As they're introducing themselves, they can also ask questions.
Definitely.
Yes.
Thank
That's
you.
a
Yes.
great idea.
Yes.
I also want
yes,
to get an opportunity for one of our, well, actually, Dr. Valentina Pamphilevsky to speak to her experience as a past fellow and share that with the team as well.
Yes, thank you so much for that. It would be great for us to share with the prospective candidates what their what transition can be like into from a fellowship to a current role, or vice versa, from a student to a fellow. And we'd love to know what your pathway is like, Valentina. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. That sounds great. Happy to spend a little bit of time on that, and then transition over to all the candidate introductions. So when I think back about overall my experience within the fellowship program, I always remember back to the application process where it started, because that was really the chance to interact with the various programs, the partner companies, and the current fellows and preceptors to really get a sense of company culture, like what Mark referred to before, and also understand the types of opportunities and experiences that you might be exposed to as a fellow within any of the programs. And my fellowship program was 2 years. It was in medical affairs communications, so very similar to this one. And the curriculum was structured in a way that it allowed for, I would say, a really deep experience within the core function of medical communications, and allowed for it to be built up within each therapeutic area as a fellow, as I kind of rotated through. And during the program, I quickly realized that there is just so much to learn, so many opportunities to grow, and was always in contact with my preceptors, asked them to become involved with key projects, product launches, and literally learn anything and everything that I could to not only become, I would say, proficient in the role, but also have a really good understanding of pharma overall, because it's really important to know how all the functions fit together, everyone's roles, really to have that big picture understanding to help accelerate career growth after. And I was fortunate enough also during my rotations to have experience within a short rotation, but still within regulatory affairs, as well as one within global commercial. And that helped overall my overall experience and growth. My experience in rotations, I would say, helped me develop relationships across the company that I would say continued to accelerate my overall career within Bayer. I was hired on after, and I owe a lot of the existing relationships that I have with colleagues today, my knowledge base and overall experience, to the foundation that the fellowship program provided me. And then one thing that still kind of sticks with me, and I hope to be able to share now, is the importance of having a mindset for innovation, for growth, and the flexibility to continuously learn something new. And I think that's something that I would say is important for all students and fellows as you start this process. So I would just keep that in mind. It's just a closing thought. So thank you for that, and I welcome any additional questions later on. Back over to you.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for that. You may get a lot of pings on LinkedIn now. I think I said that everyone on this panel probably gets some pings on LinkedIn. Okay, so this is the time for prospective candidates. We want to hear from you. I know that you've been eagerly waiting, so please raise your hand and we can call on you. Would love to hear your name, your school, and if you have a question, you can go ahead and ask that question as well. So who is going to kick this off for us? And I recognize some faces, so I may actually call on people, but I see Marina has her hand up.
So I want to say thank you everyone for hosting this. My name is Marina Ayad. I go to school at the University of Rhode Island, and I had a few questions. So with like the promotional review team meetings, so do you get to work with different therapeutic areas, or are you focused in one therapeutic area?
I can go ahead and answer that one. So in my role as the Medical Affairs Communications Fellow, right now I'll spend 6 months in the oncology therapeutic area, supporting our prostate cancer products. So right now I'm supporting 2 of our products, Nubeqa and Xofigo. And then in January, after 6 months in oncology, I'll move over to cardiovascular and renal and be one of their medical reviewers for Kerendia. So you do get a few different therapeutic areas, not just stuck in one.
And then I had a follow-up question. So what are the other projects besides like the medical information reviews that you guys do, as well as like the promotional review team meetings? What are independent projects that you get to take lead on?
I can take that one. So Lauren and I are actually working on a digital project along with Valentina, where we're updating training video for sales representatives for inquiries. And so that's one project that I've had the opportunity to get involved with outside of the medical information, medical communications role. And through that project, you really get the opportunity to work with the agency and develop time management skills as well as communication skills. So I think there's many more opportunities as I move on with the fellowship that I'm sure the candidates here would have too as well. Thanks.
Thanks. Okay, and then my last question was like, do you have like a mentor program within Bayer that's like someone that's with you throughout the whole process, or is that like your second year fellow or your preceptor?
So we do have our preceptors that so for me I'm working with the cardiorenal team, so I have a preceptor that I work with very closely, and on the oncology side, Lauren also does have another preceptor that she works very closely with, and every week we do touch base, and even in office I do touch base as well with my preceptor, and so you really do gain a lot of guidance through interactions, and also you do see and work along very closely with the preceptor to do reviews and medical reviews, promotional, non-promotional reviews of decks and materials that go through PRT. So those are ways in which you can kind of pick up skill sets from them and learn from them as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And I wanted to add that, as a fellow coming in through the Howard process, you do come in with a full week of orientation, and you'll also get to meet current fellows, network, and you have that connection throughout your fellowship and beyond. So, keep in mind that you have mentors at Bayer, and you'll have co-fellows and inline fellows through Howard. Thanks, Marina.
Thank you again.
Next, I think I saw Jason, but I don't see his hand up anymore. Jason, are you still there?
Hi, yes, I'm Jason Washington. I'm a 4th-year PharmD or Doctor of Pharmacy candidate at Howard University College of Pharmacy. And the last speaker asked one of my questions. I just wanted to know, I'm so super excited about this fellowship processes, and I wanted to ask the first-year fellows to speak to maybe, I know you all spoke about flexibility being the values of Bayer, and I'm sure you're balancing a lot of different things. But I wanted to hear about one of the like more exciting things that you're working on, or that you had the opportunity to lead, or something that you're really passionate about that you're working on. I know that the last 2 speakers kind of spoke on some of the things, so that's why I put my hand down.
I can maybe chime in on this. So as a first-year fellow for regulatory affairs, I've had a lot of different experiences that I can speak to. I find that the leadership and our preceptors are so willing to kind of do and help the fellow grow in whatever areas that they're interested in. For me, one of those was medical devices and digital health. So coming from a pharmacy background, that wasn't something I was really ever exposed to in pharmacy school. And so knowing that I had so much support from my preceptors to be able to take on initiatives, as well as to learn fully and to get experience in those areas is really rewarding to me. So that's something for regulatory.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
even bounce off of that. I know in my interview, I had just expressed interest in digital innovation and digital strategy. And day one, when I walked into Bayer, I was put on a digital project with Valentina, actually creating a U.S. medical affairs website for healthcare professionals in the U.S. And that has been an amazing experience working alongside her, working with all the different therapeutic areas within Bayer. So not even just limited in oncology in my medical communications roles. So that's something I've really grown to have a passion for, and hope to continue that like longitudinally throughout my entire fellowship.
Yeah, let me add a little bit to that as well. You know, at Bayer, we're really actually leading the industry in digital innovation. So Valentina literally is the director of our digital strategy innovation team, but we've developed infographics, digital infographics where medical science liaisons use literally to interact with thought leaders and and physicians in general. We've developed actually a chat bot, believe it or not. We've done a chat bot and we're leading the industry in that. As you just heard, Valentina team did the website for medical affairs communication. So we're big on the digital side. There's a lot of different projects that are very exciting and that's leading the industry.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, I think next up is Devin.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. My name is Devin Olden. I'm a 2024 PharmD and Masters of Public Health candidate, and I'm from Campbell University. So my first question is, well, it's actually a two-parter, and it's so what type of professional development opportunities are afforded to fellows, and how are the candidate skills cultivated during the fellowship?
So I will pass that first question to Kathy.
Hi, great question. So I actually graduated from Campbell University, so Devin and I know each other. So in terms of professional development opportunities, on the Howard side of it, we do have project management certification that we are afforded to get. Right now, I'm at the Howard Law School, and I am also taking courses there where I'll get a certificate with regulatory law as well. So there's a lot of different professional development opportunities available. I would say our other companies, depending on the companies, have other programs that are available as well for their fellows. Also, in terms of your second question with how our skills are being cultivated, I would say that I am someone who loves to lead, and I have gotten every opportunity to do that here at the Howard Fellowship. I love creating, different programs, different, things that can advance each fellow, and I've had the opportunity to do that here as well. I've seen myself, growing in terms of time management, those skills I've gotten, being able to cultivate here, being able to be flexible, multitasking, things like that. I have, gained a lot of skills, and I'm continuing to grow and gain those skills as well here throughout this fellowship.
Thank you for that.
All right, thank you.
And I know that we have 5 minutes left, but I don't know that that's a limitation, right? We can keep going if that's good with the Bayer team. And if not, what I'll do actually as a plan B is if you have questions, prospective candidates, go ahead and input them in the chat so that we can get back to you in case we don't get to you. But I know that the next person that is in line is Stephanie.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for taking the time to host this event for us. My name is Stephanie. I'm a fourth-year PharmD student at Fairleigh Dickinson University. And my question today is, what is the criteria for evaluation and feedback for the fellows within this fellowship program? Or in other words, how is growth and development essentially measured within this program?
That is a great question. So when you come into the program during orientation, we start with some DISC assessment activities. And during the program, you will have individual coaching. And part of the Howard component is to do evaluations on a quarterly basis is what we've been doing so far, where we can actually go through your leadership, your communications, interpersonal activities and relationships, and other behavioral components. So that information is provided to you, and we go through that, and we also lean on your preceptor at the company. So we're able to get feedback from them on how you're doing. I would like to pass it over to either Eddie or Dr. McCollum to share a little bit more about the Bayer process.
I can go ahead and start, Larry, if you don't mind. So I can speak for the Regulatory Affairs program. With the fellows, I do have ongoing reoccurring meetings where we kind of assess and talk through how things are going. As the program director, I'm not the one that is in charge of the day-to-day activities that your preceptor would be in charge of, but those communications with the preceptor as well as with the actual fellow themselves do happen over time. And throughout the conversations that we have throughout your 2 years, obviously we would be doing a lot of those assessments, seeing how you're doing with the different preceptors, ensuring that you are learning what it is that you're trying to learn, as long as you are sharing with us that those are the opportunities and specific things that you'd like to focus on. Additionally, with the fellows, something that I employ is doing it's called a 360, where we gather insight and feedback from your preceptors and other individuals that you work with, and provide that feedback back to you so that you can assess and hear back from the individuals that you've been working with, how you've been performing, and seeing if there are areas to kind of to work on and to continue to improve upon.
Yes, my process really is the same. I meet with the fellows every 2 weeks, and I really just give them an opportunity to share with me their experiences and what they're actually working on, and I see how that is actually lining up with the business. Okay, and I also sort of manage their workload because fellows are very talented individuals that everybody wants a part of, right? And so I try to make sure we have balance so you actually can grow and develop over a period of time. But during our conversations, I'm really asking from anything from what are you working on? What do you like to work on? Are you satisfied? I'm probing for these questions because I really want to make sure that we're guiding you along the way that's really going to develop your career journey, And so that's big. So there's, in addition to that, there's solicited feedback, and sometimes there's unsolicited feedback. And I can say that the unsolicited feedback has been awesome over the years, the last 7, 8 years I've been dealing with the program, right? And so, but those are ways that we really mentor, develop, and just try to ensure we enhance your leadership abilities and your overall capabilities to add value to the organization.
Thank you. Thank you all so much.
And I think I'll give opportunity for 2 more folks. Noran is next. Ask the question.
Hi, my name is Noran. I'm a 4th-year PharmD student, also at Fairleigh Dickinson University. I'm also doing a master's in regulatory affairs and clinical research. And first of all, I just want to thank you all for taking the time to have this information session. And I just had a question regarding the policy right now, because I know since COVID, a lot of pharmas either are working remote or hybrid. I just wanted to know, what is the policy right now at Bayer?
You want me to kick that off, Ed? Or
sure, yeah.
Yeah, I can speak. it could vary depending upon the groups and the departments at Bayer. But my group right now, we actually are hybrid. So we work 3 days a week. You're going to line those days up really with what your major PRT times are, your promotional review meetings. That's the way I line them up. But yeah, we do 3 days a week, and we're flexible with that. We're flexible with that as well.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
And I can maybe speak from the regulatory side. Similarly to what Larry mentioned here, we employ a hybrid approach, but we really ask that you work with your preceptor to understand what are the best days to come in, to make sure that you can get the best and most out of your time while you're in, on the premises and meeting with folk. There is a lot of value in coming into the office to ensure that you actually meet individuals in person and kind of get your name out there as well too. So just wanted to kind of share that. I do understand there is some value in the remote work piece of it, but especially as fellows and even from past experiences from fellows that undergone their fellowship throughout the pandemic, one of the key things that I've heard as feedback is that they really did miss out. They feel like they've missed out a little bit on being in person. So while I understand that that requires relocation possibly and other aspects and components, it really does contribute to the overarching experience as a fellow.
Thank you so much for sharing this. No, I totally agree. That's why I asked this question, because I want to be in person. So I see value in being in person. So thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And I know we had Abrina also raise her hand. Abrina, are you still online?
Yes, hi. Thank you, Dr. Olajide. My name is Abrina Waji. I'm a fourth-year PharmD candidate at Howard University College of Pharmacy. And this question was really geared towards the directors. I was wondering if there's like a pivotal project or moment in time where you guys realized that your commitment to Bayer was solidified.
I'm happy to start, or unless you have one in mind.
I'll start first, I guess.
Sure.
Look, I've been in the industry 20 plus years. All right. And in that entire time, I've actually been in oncology. And what drew me to oncology, initially I was working on the PhD in biochemistry at Howard University, believe it or not. And I was focused on diabetes. But, and I'll just share some personal things here, guys, it's all family. But unfortunately, my mother became ill with cancer and died from cancer. Then I shifted my focus from diabetes research really into oncology. I ended up doing a PharmD, and I actually been contributing to the oncology space in that area, honestly. And what pulled me to Bayer was that they were looking to develop the oncology space. They had about 2 or 3 products when I got here at Bayer. And then within the first 3 years of me being there, they launched 3 products over that 3-year period. And really, that's something I was looking for, to try to just contribute my talents to further develop compounds in the oncology space. And it's just my way of giving back. That was pivotal for me.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks so much for sharing that, Larry. Yeah, that's very insightful too. I'll answer the question from maybe a slightly different perspective. So maybe 2 things to share too, to provide a little context. I joined Bayer just about 2 years ago in November. So my stint with Bayer is fairly short compared to a lot of the other individuals that are on this call. However, there's several things, and also I should mention that I should have mentioned before, but I'm also a past fellow myself. So I've been a part of a fellowship program, and I've seen the value that fellowship programs as a whole bring to the industry and also to PharmDs as in industry as well. Bayer, from a fellowship perspective, I can very clearly say that the opportunities that we provide here are bar none, I would say, in terms of the leadership opportunities and in terms of putting the fellow in leadership places so that they can actually be the ones to actually gain as much exposure and experience within the different groups, and that they kind of share with us that they'd like to focus in on. A lot of this, at least from my perspective, is you know, going to be directed by you as the fellow to let us know what it is that you'd like to focus on while you're here with us. But from a fellow perspective, I think that's really important for you guys to understand as a perspective. For me personally, in my time with Bayer, albeit short, what I can share is that the culture here with sometimes with larger pharma organizations, you may hear that the culture that that is embedded within the company, it comes off very bureaucratic and things along those lines. But since the day I joined, I will share that the culture here at Bayer has been nothing but really trying to lift the individuals and providing the individual employees the opportunity to grow within the company, which is where I think that that kind of drive comes in for the fellows as well too, in providing opportunities for you guys as well to shine. This I think is very clear on within the first few days of coming into the company. I was put on the largest product to lead, and was able to launch a product within the first few months that I was there, which kind of speaks to the opportunities that Bayer as a whole provides, not just to their fellows but to their employees. So hopefully that kind of helps provide a different perspective, but kind of to the Bayer culture.
Yeah, let me add one additional thing. I would say, look, find your passion and follow that passion. And honestly, if you're with us, let's say you choose whoever you choose. I know with us, my role is, hey, look, I'm trying to identify what your gifts are, and then put you in a position to use those gifts. And those are natural gifts given to you. Therefore, you should have that ability to use them at the very highest level. And hopefully you're passionate about those. And we want to develop that, right? Because I know if you're passionate about using your gifts, that's just going to add value to the organization. And then it's going to, guess what, add value to our customers out there. So I would say just think and reflect. What are you passionate about? What are your giftings? And then begin to apply those, right? And you'll end up in a position that's going to foster those. That's what I would like to say to you.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much, Larry and Edward. Those answers were really insightful and very meaningful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you, everyone. This has been a really great session. I will tell the Bayer team, I truly appreciate all of your candid responses to the questions. I think the prospective candidates are going to be really thrilled. And I know that we have a few more questions. We will get to those offline. Just one thing from me, as Dr. McCollum and Edward said, they had their own personal journey for where they are today. We are looking for people that are authentic, people that are looking to learn, people that have an open mind, and people that have great qualities. So we know that you're graduating with a PharmD, so you're brilliant, but bring your true self when you come to an interview. Make sure that you shine and showcase your abilities, and we will definitely work with you to identify a path that's best for you. I don't know if anyone has any more comments, but I do want to give senior leaders maybe some closing remarks if they'd like to share. And I'll also like to have the lead fellows have some closing remarks. So senior leaders, if you're still online, would you like to share any closing remarks?
Yeah, maybe I can.
Go ahead, Ellison.
I just want to say thank you again to everyone that's interested in joining Bayer. I was very silent because I think everyone from Bayer did a really good job talking about what it's like to work at Bayer. And I'm really looking forward to meeting some of you.
Thank you, Ellison. And this is Bindi. I just wanted to say that this was really exciting, and I'm so excited for all the applicants and all the applications to be coming in, meeting some of you. So thank you all. And I agree with Allison. Ed and Larry did a really amazing job today. So we didn't have to add much more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Patrick, Diamond, any last words?
I will just concur with everything that the senior leadership have said. So thank you again to Bayer for this, for conducting this session. This is a very important opportunity for future fellows. And I invite everyone on the call to apply and really take advantage of this opportunity. Thank you.
Okay.
And it's Diamond again, guys. I just want to say that this was an amazing informational. I hope all of you have taken something from it. I hope it spoke to you, some of you individually. And I also wanted to piggyback on what our Dr. Olajide has said already. Please be your authentic self. If we wanted duplicates, it would be in the application process. Trust me. But what we like is uniqueness, and we like for people who are ready to bring their A game, whatever that looks like. Trust me when I say we want you to be authentic. So I look forward to seeing some of your names come across our screens. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to anyone that has been on this call or on this panel.
Thank you. And behind the scenes, Cafe Friday, thank you for all that you're doing. Before we close, I want to say that there's still time to apply. Do not wait too late because we've received a lot of applications so far. So please take the time to submit all of your application documents, and certainly feel free to email pharmacy.fellowship@howard.edu. And with that, I would like to bring this to a close. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Everyone.
Thank you.